Welcome to the Venture Cafe studio. My name is Sky Flanagan, a volunteer at the Venture Cafe. I'm here with Neheet Trivedi, CEO of Nausea LLC, the maker of the Shanti Bar. Hello, Neheet. Thanks for joining us.
Sky, thanks for having me.
Wow, it's wonderful to have you.
It's good to be here.
So, Neheet, I'd love to just jump in and tell me a little bit about your company. How did you get started?
Yeah, so we started last year in the summertime. I was looking to start a company in the agriculture and food space, and at the same time was just talking to a lot of people, and one of those people was my sister. And my sister had just or was about to give birth to a baby boy. Unfortunately, she experienced a great deal of nausea throughout her entire pregnancy, so much so that she actually was let go from her job because she couldn't go to the office. And it was a challenge for her because, some of the drug solutions were not really ideal for her, ones that she didn't necessarily want to take. And it was a common thing, actually, that I heard from a lot of other people during pregnancy. Nausea is there, but they want to avoid drugs. So I started just looking online at what could be some solutions. Simultaneously, I spoke to a friend of mine whose mother was experiencing a lot of nausea as well as a side effect of some medications she was on. So I said, okay, let me see what I can find. And as I did a great deal of research, I found some basically academic articles and studies that have been done over the last 10 or 15 years on the role of certain foods in reducing nausea. And I reached out to those academics and I talked to them about the research. They were excited about the research. Some of them had done it recently, some of them a while ago. And I thought to myself, if I can create something here from this, create a product that'll help people like my sister who are looking for a food solution, a natural solution, a non-drug solution to help with nausea, that could really help her. Could really help her go to work. Could help a lot of other people who experience nausea from motion sickness or other causes to avoid having to take a drug to help them. So long story short, we started testing it and we got a lot of good feedback, and I've been working on it ever since.
And so what are the main ingredients, if you don't mind divulging just a little bit of what behind the Shanti Bar? What are some of the ingredients and where do you source?
Yeah, so our first bar is a blueberry flavor, so it has blueberries in it. The ingredients that have the anti-nausea effect or the effect in reducing the queasiness are protein, ginger, and a set of vitamins that have all been shown through a variety of studies to reduce nausea. The challenge is getting those ingredients in a product that tastes good and is easy to eat. Right. So we initially shared some high protein products with some women during their first trimester. They just hated it. It was either too chewy or too it didn't really have a right taste, didn't have the right texture, or had some ingredients they didn't want to eat. So we basically designed it in a way that it tastes really good. It's got a nice soft flavor to it. It's crunchy. It's almost 40% protein, which is pretty hard to get. It has ginger in it, but it's not overpowering, and the vitamins. So all those together in this package that we've created, which tastes good, feels good, and is easy to eat, is what makes the product efficacious.
Absolutely. That's wonderful. And so where are you producing your product now?
We have a manufacturer, a co-packer, which is very common for many companies in the food space to have. They have a facility in the Midwest, and they basically are fully insured and have all the certifications and regulations to produce the product for us. So we've been working with them, and it's a great partnership.
That's wonderful. So I'm curious about some of the hurdles that you've experienced as you started to launch this business. What are some of the unforeseen challenges that you've had to face?
It's interesting. There's like a plethora of hurdles. I would say one that sticks out is credibility. We did a series of studies with the largest boating company out here in the Boston area, Boston Harbor Cruises, and did surveys on the back of their boats with their customers, and a lot of people really liked it. A lot of people liked the product. They liked the bar. Over 70% of people did, and so we basically shared that research and the results with other people, and even our contact there has been in contact with some of our customers. But even then, I think a lot of people want to see it for themselves. They want to see it working for themselves. So even if I share the results, I think a lot of people kind of feel like seeing is believing. It's interesting because I do think a lot of products in the market. Let's say take some drugs for example, like Tylenol. You know, people don't question at this point whether or not it really works, even though for a lot of people it doesn't. I mean, I know people who who prefer ibuprofen over Tylenol because Tylenol doesn't really work for them. So there's this hurdle initially with any company, especially ours, because we are saying that it has a certain effect in getting that credibility. We have a lot of great testimonials and a lot of great feedback from people, which is on our website and on Amazon and things like that. Even then, I think a lot of people they kind of need to see it to believe it.
Absolutely, I can imagine that being an interesting hurdle to get over. And so, am I correct to say that you work out of the Cambridge Innovation Center?
Yeah, I'm here on the 5th floor in C3.
That's wonderful. And how did you get involved? How did you find out about the Cambridge Innovation Center?
I'm trying to think. I came here for the first time for a board meeting for an organization I'm involved in, and then a friend of mine was working out of here, and then I came by a few times and just liked it. It was perfect. I mean, I needed a place outside of my house to work, and the food initially was a great sell, but now I've met a lot of cool people like you and a lot of other people here. In fact, I met one of my first customers through Alex, who works here at C3. I was a customer of Zagran, which works out of here in C3. Some of my own customers actually work on the 4th floor. They've tried the product and they really like it, so it's been great to be here.
Yeah, it is quite a booming ecosystem of entrepreneurs gathering together. So I'm interested, as a food entrepreneur, what would you advise someone that's trying to break into the market? Can you elaborate on that, maybe?
Yeah, sure. First of all, do it. It's there's nothing more exciting than building your own company, your own brand, your own product. For many of us, I would say that my thoughts would be, or my advice would be to contribute to the community, get to know the entrepreneurs in the area, get to know what people are doing. There's a lot of people working in the food space broadly beyond food products, in the agriculture space, in the food delivery space. There's a lot of things here. So I would say go out and talk to folks. I mean, just down the street, a mentor of mine, Bob Jones, is working on Food for Sleep. A friend of mine, Alex, is running Cognity. They have products here now. A friend of mine, Marla, runs Energy. She comes here every now and then. I mean, there's a lot of people here, and there's a lot one can learn from working with them or talking to them and contributing any way possible.
That's wonderful. And do you feel willing to share some of the lessons that you've learned trying to break into the market?
Yeah, I think. I think the first thing, of course, is the credibility thing. I think initially, and getting that traction. I think the second relates is around the brand. I think that having a very clear picture of who your target customer is and why they would want to take it and when they would want to take it and what kind of appeals to them is really important. And I had previously worked more in B2B type interactions, so where branding really wasn't as important. B2C and what we're doing, it's extremely important. So I think understanding your customer is critical. Other thing is, I've had discussions and arguments with people about taste and efficacy and how important taste is, and some people say taste is paramount, some people say it's not, especially if you have a functional food that has a certain product or certain function. And I would argue that taste is critical, and I found that because our product tastes good to the vast majority of people, they like eating the whole thing, and because they like eating the whole thing, it becomes more efficacious. So I think those are three things that I've learned. There are many, many more. I also think it's interesting, food companies that are developing a new product tend to be quite small. You don't need 50 people to become a $100 million business. I think like Orgain, for example, is a $75 million business. They have 4 people or something like that, some small number of people. It also takes time to get to sales because brand recognition takes some time. The exceptions in the teams are some of those ones that are doing a lot of R&D, like Hampton Creek is doing a lot of R&D and developing a new type of egg substitute, so they have a larger staff. So that's interesting. I mean, so there's some people, who want to bootstrap it. That can be the way to go initially. and you don't necessarily have to have a lot of people to get on the shelves. But there's a lot of competition getting on the shelves. Whole Foods and Shaw's and all these companies that are the retail outlets, have literally hundreds of brand, companies that are making new products to try to get on their shelves, and there's a constant turnover. So it's very, very competitive. So understanding your customer, how to get to them, what interests them, and getting really a lot of support from that is critical. Some people have used Kickstarter, for example, like Exo Protein out of New York. They make protein bars out of cricket protein. Mm-hmm. They used Kickstarter really effectively to get to their customers, and they continue to engage their customers outside of the regular channels through email, for example, and developing new flavors. They engage their whole set of customers engaging new flavors. So I think there's a lot of things you can do.
Yeah, that's great. And so it sounds like team building that trust and having the right people involved is really critical. And I hear that you may be looking for another person to join your team?
Yeah, so I actually have been working with a doctor at Harvard Medical School who practices gastroenterology. So she's been awesome. She's a great addition to the team. She knows a lot about this, so she's able to help guide some of the product development and understanding of the science behind the product, which has been wonderful. There's a couple people from MIT, where I'm an alum, who've also been helping. But I am looking for a full-time co-founder to join the team. I think it would be great to have someone else there alongside who has a really great deep interest in developing a new company, growing a brand, reaching out to customers and building relationships. I think we have something that is really cool. Our customers really like the product. Like I said before, the vast majority of people like it. They continue to buy it. They give us really great feedback. They come back for more, and our larger customers, like over here, like Boston Harbor Cruises, has been supportive in with the product and the product development. And so I think we have something cool, and I look forward to attracting a really awesome co-founder to work with me.
Well, that is absolutely wonderful. And thank you so much, Neheet. That has been completely so interesting, and we wish you the best of luck on the search and the development of your product.
Thank you, Sky. Thanks for having me.
Great. Thank you.